Hello, welcome to Healthy Living Homestead, and we're going to talk about the gardens we do today a little bit about compost, and built a cold frame over here, so I'm just going to show you what we got going on. Alright, so this is a cold frame, and that's basically, it just gives you some more season to grow vegetables at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. And we got these panels. I got them tied up now, but these will come down. So basically, here in New York, normally you don't want to plant till mid-May or June, but now, because I got those to protect from the frost, I can plant this with cold weather vegetables and as early as April or maybe even earlier, and then shut that, and it'll help the ground soil heat up, and then your seeds can sprout, and it protects them from the frost so you can get a head start. So it's pretty simple, and we used cut-offs from the sawmill, which for a good affordable way to do garden beds, you could find a local sawmill. A lot of times they throw these away. They're the cut-offs from squaring the log up. And this is from larch, which is rot resistant, so I'm hoping to get 15 to 20 years out of this. If you were to use cut-offs from pine or other stuff like that, you might only get 5 to 10 years out of it. And something to keep in mind with garden beds, when water gets in there and this freezes during the winter, there's a lot of pressure on it. So it's good to put stakes out here so that this can flex, but it won't bust open, because when it freezes in there, everything starts to push. And this is all from our deep bedding in the barn over the winter, and it's composted, so it's good to plant in. Something to know about when you got bedding, deep bedding with hay or straw or wood chips or whatever it is that's breaking down with the animal pee and poo. A good way to know that it's ready is there's no smell to it. If it smells like ammonia or pee or poo, it's not ready, it's too hot. So this has no smell, and it's a good consistency, so that's gonna all be good to start seeds in. The cats love crapping in the garden bed. And this is where we spread more fresh manure around the fruit trees. And we planted these 3 years ago, and they're growing very fast. They were only about that wide when we planted them, just like sticks. And in 3 years, they're this. And I put manure around them in spring and in fall, and that basically feeds the soil around them so that they can grow quickly and basically fight off disease better because they're healthy and strong. So yeah, that's how we do a little bit of gardening.
Do you want to show us your other garden boxes?
Yeah. Okay, here we are at the other garden beds. I put our chicken manure in here, which is chicken manure mixed with sawdust that we use to bed them, and we do deep bedding, so we get a ton of this ready. And this was all pretty fresh when I put it in here, and now it's good. There's no smell to it, real good consistency. So sawdust and chicken manure, this stuff will grow vegetables very well.
From the deep bedding that we cleaned out of the chick brooder. So as the chicks grow and come in and out of that brooder house through the whole summer,
the bedding builds up.
Yep, it builds up. How deep does it get?
We build it up 2 feet in there, and then at the end of the year when it's all done, we clean it out and replenish these after everything's done growing. We clean these out, and then in the winter we'll clean that out, fill these back up, lets it break down a little, and then lets it prepare for the spring for the next year. Now we got garlic growing over here in these beds. So this bed is all garlic. We got a lot of weeds. We got a weed here, but you plant your garlic in fall. You plant it in September or October, about 4 inches deep. And basically, it starts growing whenever the conditions are correct. If it's warm, you'll see them popping out. And yeah, now they're growing pretty good. All this is garlic through here. And a benefit of garden beds versus growing directly in the ground is you have control over, you know, keeping everything contained. The garden beds also heat up quicker, so, you know, because this all heats up, it's warmer outside, but the ground soil is colder, so stuff will take longer to grow in the ground because it's temperature based on when things sprout and grow. So garden beds heat up faster. They also don't get too wet when it's rainy. They can drain well, and then if it's a wet season, you're okay. It won't all get flooded out. And if a dry season, you just water them a bunch. So, yeah. And that's
Does it matter how deep your garden boxes are? Because we have some that are like 1 board deep, and then we have other ones that are 2 boards deep.
No, it doesn't really matter. It's the easiest to make them shallower like this, because the higher you get them, if you're in a cold climate, the more the frost is going to want to bust those garden beds apart. So if you build something this high, it's easy to work in, but when the frost gets in, the moisture gets in it, it's going to want to break the garden beds apart, and you got to build them a lot stronger. So I really don't like them to be much higher than this. So
Okay.
anywhere from 8 inches to 24 inches is good. Yeah. And then we got over here, this is where we throw a lot of the manure, and then it starts to break down. This is all sat. This is all sat for a year or more, and it's real good now. We're planting seeds in. There's no smell to it. It's nice and dark. So we'll take a lot of this to plant seeds in and grow stuff, and then we'll rototill it up and plant here. There's a quick thing here too.
What's this?
We got a steer skull in here. Kind of a little trick if you got a deer head or some sort of animal head that you want to get cleaned up, if you want to mount it in your barn or hang it somewhere. If you bury the heads in the dirt, all the bugs will eat the flesh off of it and then just leave the skull. So
Cool.
kind of lets nature do it, then you don't have to spend any time doing it yourself. So that's about it. We'll do an update in a few weeks on the garden beds and show you everything planted and show you the seeds sprouting.
Thanks for watching our video. I hope you like and subscribe to our channels.